My pod is Boston, my pod is pure. I've got a Mucka, his name is Jord. It's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, and we're gonna talk about some characters that ain't even real, and hope someone gives a shit. Ah, kid. There you go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Mukkapod, the somewhat regular geek culture podcast that discusses everything in the world of pop culture, served with a hefty side of top draw British banter, whether it's TV, movies, comics, gaming or anime, you name it, we've got it. And if we ain't got it, you don't need it, our kid.
You don't, do you?
I am. You don't. No, it's pathetic that they thought they did in the first place, isn't
Weak.
it?
This is
Weak. I am your host, Jamie, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Cha-Cha Slide Dance Champion 2001, the Sidonian himself. It's Jord.
I mean, that was an impressive callback to our preamble, but it was 2000 actually. I just want to correct you.
Now, 2001 sounded a bit more, like Stars in Your Eyes, Alfie Bow lookalike 2002. It doesn't ring well with 2000. You know what I mean? So
I'll give it.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm sound. Yeah,
it's good to see you. I missed you. I thought I was never going to see you again.
But you have. I'm here.
I have. Yeah, it's made my day.
Yeah, no, I decided to give up the podcast. I was like, fuck this. I'm not editing any of these anymore. But then I started to miss you.
Oh,
so I was like, okay, best get back to it.
Yeah, it was like that one James Bond film, Skyfall, when they have to go and drag him out of retirement. I found you in a bar in Cuba.
I saw Casino Royale in cinemas, and it put me off every James Bond film.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I like Casino Royale.
When Casino Royale came out, what is Casino Royale? 2007.
Something like
2006.
That, yeah.
I was like 11 when it came out.
Right.
And I went and saw it in the cinema. I was just like, and it was the longest, most boring cinema experience of my life. And I saw Avatar in cinema, so like.
Oh shit, that's saying something then, man. Sticking with James Bond, I saw Die Another Day in cinemas when I was roughly the same age, so I'm feeling that, mate. But I like Casino Royale. I like Skyfall, and then the other two, not so much.
I just haven't seen them. They may as well be the same film to me. It's like the Mission Impossible films.
Never, not one of those.
I watched the Mustache Gate one.
Oh yes, you got it.
Because I wanted to see what Henry Cavill was like in there and if it was worth it, and yeah, it was good. It was worth it.
I like that scene where he fucking because I saw the trailer and he loads his biceps up like a shotgun, doesn't he? Like he puts it up and goes.
But it works in the film. He looks menacing.
It does. Anyway, yes, that gives you a kind of idea to new listeners as to what this shit is all about. I'm Jamie, that's Jord, and we sit down for usually about 2 hours and talk about geeky shit.
It's more like 4 hours because we need our breaks.
We do. Heavy.
I mean, I sat down over an hour ago.
Yeah. We've just been chatting shit, haven't we?
I missed you.
I missed you too, mate. God bless you. Yeah, so the way it works kind of format-wise, just for people who haven't watched this before, it's the same as pretty much every other kind of podcast of this nature. There's some stuff that's gone on in the world of news, but much better because we're from fucking Dudley, are we?
Yeah, fucking Dudley.
That's why it's better. So we talk about kind of what's been going on in the week, news and that kind of thing, give our kind of hot takes, have a bit of banter about it. Then we've got a sort of like a reaction segment when we talk about trailers or announcements or anything that we fancy talking about. And then we've got usually got a main discussion topic. And this week that's going to be Amazon Prime's Invincible, which I'm very much looking forward to discussing. And then at the end, we just talk about how's it been going? What have we been up to? What have we been watching, playing, reading that we just haven't talked about in the duration of the podcast? So that's kind of what you're in for today. There'll be some rough timestamps in the bottom, not for every topic.
Probably not. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Let's see how
I'll put them there. No, don't worry. You have a cigar, mate. You sit down. You've had enough. Do you know what I mean?
So when I get to the point when I'm uploaded, like I've just been like staring at this file and like the editing and Premiere Pro for like 6 hours. So I'm just like, who gives a shit about timestamps? done now.
No, I've put a few in for just, like I said, not every fucking thing that we do, but sort of like sections, you know, like
News, topic, as it going.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of which, news, mate?
Tis our.
So, this one is a little bit on the old scale, but because we didn't do one last week, I wanted to get your take on it because I know you're incredibly fucking hyped for this particular movie.
I am.
So, currently filming in Fort Langley is Sonic 2, but what we didn't know it was going to be is Sonic 2 and Knuckles.
Yeah, they're merging the sequels, it seems.
Yes, absolutely, which is weird because you'd think that they would wait for the third one to do Knuckles, but there's some set photos.
I reckon if it goes much longer, like the way they'll go is Shadow.
Yes, bring him in. Why not, man?
Like,
Why
once
not?
you've introduced Tails and you've introduced Knuckles, you bring Shadow. That's the next
Shadow,
step.
Chaos, and all those guys, man. But no, you see Jim Marsden's there and Tika Sumpter's there, the characters from the first one. But there's also these life-sized busts of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and they just look great, man. Well, what's your opinion? I want one. I want one for in here.
So before we get to my opinion, I just want to play a little game with you, Jay. It's a game you will have heard of in the past. Shag, Marry, Kill.
Right.
With so.
Okay,
or fuck, marry, kill, whatever it's called in America, because it's not shagging, is it, in America? That's a very British term, I believe.
Shagadelic. I think they know it.
Oh, okay.
They know that
from
because of Austin Powers. Yeah, absolutely. So shag Knuckles, marry Sonic, and kill Tails. Probably.
Oh, kill Tails. See, I think you kill Sonic personally. You've got. I mean,
to be fair,
we agree on one thing. With fucking Knuckles, right? Because Knuckles looks good, yeah. But I reckon Sonic would be too annoying, but Tails would be really helpful.
You see, the movie version of Sonic kind of toned down his annoyance a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I think that we'd have a good dynamic, me and Sonic.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you watch
marriage.
like a cartoon version of Sonic and you spend the rest of your fucking life with that thing.
Yeah, the worst one is kind of his early 2000s iteration. Like, kill Sonic. I agree. Tails will be better with money as well because he's got the smarts. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate.
He could knock you up a plane. Do you know what
He'll
I mean?
sort your taxes out.
Yeah, he'll build you a plane. You could just go on your jollies.
He'll build you a plane with paying with 0% tax. That's what you go for Tails for.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm glad we've come to an agreement on that.
No, yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. So we're not so different, you and I.
Touching on the important issues, the Mukkapod.
Absolutely. This is what people tune in for, mate. Excited for this.
Yeah.
I like that they've got these life-size busts as well, and not just like tennis balls on a stick. It's just cool to see.
It's just it's just a bit of extra effort, isn't it? That
yeah.
It's nice.
I appreciate that extra.
It shows
effort,
that they're being a bit like serious, and I love the first film, but it's I'm not going to be there like petitioning it for it to win Oscars or any awards or anything like that. But it was it was fun, and it was for me on the demographic of those films that isn't kid, but was kid.
Yeah. Aimed at kids, but like they know that we're in their primary demographic, and I like how game accurate they all look as well, because I still can't believe that they tried to do that, like that first trailer, like with the original Sonic design.
I can't remember if we covered this, but like I thought it was alright. I didn't care. I could have got past it. I watched it and I was like, well, this Hollywood, this is what I was expecting.
that just seemed to be the year. I think it was like 2016 or 2017, wasn't it? I can't remember the exact year, but that seemed to be the year where they were like making things from my childhood fucking terrifying, because that design of Sonic was terrifying, and the Psyduck in Detective Pikachu was fucking terrifying.
Yeah. So at some point, I'm sure we'll do a full episode on Detective Pikachu, because we like films, and we both like we're partial to Japanese pocket monsters.
Pocket monster, absolutely.
But man, there's some terrifying things in that. The Greninjas in that film just keep me up at night.
Yeah, ditto keeps me up at night as well.
Yeah.
It's ditto verged on body horror in that film, but
I'm gonna rewatch it. We'll rewatch it and
yeah,
choose it as a topic when nothing else is going on. But
no, absolutely. But in terms of this, I appreciate the extra effort. I'm looking forward to seeing Sonic 2. I want to see Jim Carrey back, but like full Eggman this time with his shaved head and mustache and everything.
Yeah, you better have a shaved head this time.
Yep.
If he's put on a few pounds as well, I won't complain.
Oh, that would be ideal. Do you know what I mean? If he wants to be a method
but I don't
actor,
want a fat suit. No fucking fat suits.
I was just about to say stick him in a fat suit. Why not?
I think that'd really limit Jim Carrey.
Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he's like strong enough of an actor.
Really? No, he did well in a rubber mask suit, didn't he?
It's a different time though.
No, yeah. It's out of the 90s, no more, man. Just as a little side amble before we go to the next bit, somebody pointed out to me, either somebody pointed out to me or I saw a post the other day, because I'm fast approaching 30 now, and somebody pointed out on Facebook that somebody talking about the 90s today, it was like me talking about the 60s in the 90s, and I was like, no, I don't like that. I do not like that, man.
You gotta face it, mate.
I think that my best years are now behind me. Unfortunately, dude.
Nah, definitely.
Well, we got
not.
a few more years of this podcast.
Every day, mate, so.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of bromance in this episode. You can tell we haven't seen each other for a while, man. So, Jord, you're a big fan of Into the Spider-Verse.
It's my favourite film.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've mentioned before, it's one of or the
It's my favourite film.
Favourite film of all time. So, how do you feel about the directors of the original not returning for the sequel?
I mean, so they are returning, but in producer roles, but biggest question mark above my head, like, if it wasn't broke, why are you trying to fix it?
Exactly,
they're returning for the project, so they've got the time. Maybe they didn't want to direct again. Maybe it was a lot, because I would imagine it would have been a lot for that film, like directing such a big scale animation with so many new techniques. I'm sure that took it out of them, but also at the same time, like, they won a fucking Oscar. Like,
they did.
One of the first superhero films to win an Oscar, the first Spider-Man film to win an Oscar.
But well deserved, man. Like,
well
outside of it being cape shit and a superhero film, it's fucking beautifully animated. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in terms of animation. What concerns me more so than the change of directors, because I'm not sure how much it really matters all that much when it's an animated film to have consistent directors between the two projects. Do you know what I mean? Because, like you said, a lot of them stayed on as producers. It's not like there's one director behind the camera. It's a much bigger ensemble. What does worry me is the original script. The writer, penned by Phil Lord and Rodney Rotham. They're no longer on the writing credits. They're there as producers.
Yeah, I mean, Lord and Miller are coming back in some degree.
They're producers, so executive producers kind of thing.
So what it makes me hope is, if it isn't going the way that everybody wants, that they'll be there to grab the steering wheel and get back in the driving seat a bit with it.
Yeah.
At least they're in the picture. That's... Hang on, there's a fucking ice cream truck.
Ice cream! Yay! Go on. Carry on, sorry.
The ice cream
to grab the steering wheel and sort of steer the ship in the right direction if it gets a bit out of hand.
Yeah, I think that's it, really. If it's not going the way they want it to, I have some high hopes for this film. I've got, like, Endgame After Infinity War level hypes for this film.
I mean, the original earns a certain amount of good faith, to be honest with you, so I'm not worried, per se. That the new writer, Dave Callahan, makes me a little bit twitchy. His credits include Wonder Woman 84, Godzilla 2014. He's also done all 3 Expendable films, and then stuff that we haven't seen, like Shang-Chi and Mortal Kombat. Not the strongest writer, man. Like, when you think that the original was just like, it like just had that snappy kind of dialogue, it hit you in the feels when it needed to. It was hilarious when it needed to be. It makes me a little bit twitchy that that's who's writing the screenplay. But
I know. But to be fair though, if I go here, Into the Spider-Verse 2 screenplay by David Callahan, Chris Miller, and Phil Lord.
Okay.
So that's that. It's good
Yeah,
enough.
okay.
Absolutely good enough.
Yeah.
The fact that the person who was responsible for Wonder Woman 84 storyline is involved at all in this scares me.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit of a hot ticket in Hollywood at the moment.
yeah,
Like, he's
he's-
getting some big projects.
I didn't mind Zombieland Double Tap. Hopefully Shang-Chi is good.
I didn't hate Godzilla, to be honest with you, but it's
I didn't watch it.
what. Yeah, it's okay. It's just what its strongest element was.
Oh no,
Bryan
Joe.
Cranston.
Sorry, I've just got to interrupt
Go on,
this to bring you the news that he directed Doom 2005. Or not
Yeah, I did
directed,
see
he
that as well.
wrote.
Yeah, wrote it. Yeah,
Can't be having that. Get him out.
yeah. Fire him.
Out.
If Chris Miller and did you say it was Phil
both
as
Lord
well?
and Miller, yeah.
Both of them. Okay. So having those three in the writers' room,
It's good enough.
It's
Good
gonna
enough.
be it's gonna be all right in it. But twitchy, a little bit twitchy. I'm more nervous for you than anything else. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you said, end game level hype.
I think I need to like just not be as hyped as I am for it, because I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to end up ruining it for myself.
Films like that are always better on a second watch. If you're really looking forward to something and you go in to watch it the first time, if you're very excited for it, it's never going to be as good as you want
Thor
it to
Ragnarok.
be. Yeah,
I came out. I went to see it with you and Kate, and I came out of that, and I didn't praise it, did I? I was like,
you were very lukewarm about it.
Yeah.
You were kind of sober, and I didn't like that.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
and a lot of the jokes didn't land for me the first time, but obviously it's one of my favourites. It's a fucking amazing film.
Yes, it's so good.
But I think I was already quite a Taika Waititi fan going into it. Like we'd recently just like when he got announced as the director, we binge watched the rest of his films and stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's still on my list. Like it's a list that's getting bigger and bigger by the day. But I still need to watch Taika Waititi's films. But
you need to watch Jojo Rabbit.
okay,
So,
all right. I'll put that higher
someone
on
with
the
your
list.
like political leanings and stuff like that, especially, like you'll find it.
I don't know what you're
hilarious.
talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, we don't
New
even know
phone,
what
who's
politics
this?
is, but
What
still,
what's a politic?
we don't even
I
know
don't
what
know.
it is, but still, watch the film about Nazis. Okay. So,
Okay, all right, no worries.
to be fair, a Taika Waititi episode in the style of our quite praised Edgar Wright episode.
That was a good episode, man.
People seem to like it.
But lock your windows this time.
Yes,
'cause,
that was
that was
one
the
where my
cat. The cat
tried
went
to,
flying. Yeah.
commit seppuku. Yeah.
I love it.
Dived out the top. For those who are unaware, she dived out of the upstairs window onto a plastic chair that was in the garden. Like a fucking
I
idiot.
panicked about it way more than I should have, though, because I thought I misheard and I thought that Kate was saying that like their daughter had fallen out of the window. So
Yeah, that
I
would've been
was
worse.
I was fucking mortified. But no, I'm glad she's okay and made a full recovery, and cautiously optimistic for Spider-Man 2 Into
Yes.
the Spider-Verse 2. Yeah.
Next item is.
There is a woman in Texas.
I'm sure there's multiple.
There is, yes. Basically, this is the story that you might have seen around the internet of the woman that found out there was a felony charge against her for Sabrina the Teenage Witch VHS that she rented like 10 years ago.
No, so I've never heard of this.
So this woman calls up to change her name because she got married to the driving license plate, the DMV or whatever they call it in America, and turned out that she had a felony charge on her record because she had a VHS rental that hadn't been returned, and it was 22 years later. So she phones up and finds out she's got a felony embezzlement was the charge.
Wow.
So, yes. She said the woman recalled being let go by various jobs over the years, and it clicked for her that, like, oh my god, that's because they've looked into the background and saw felony embezzlement on the record. So basically what had happened is that the store had gone out of business 10 years prior, but there was an arrest warrant out that just never got closed. I believe the store was in a completely different state, which is why she never found out about it. And luckily, they've agreed to drop the charges against her, so she can expunge her. And the funny thing is, she didn't even have any recollection of renting it. And it also makes me nervous because do you know how many fucking graphic novels I've got that were just from the library and I never took them back. I've got a large collection. And I'm wondering how many districts I'm a wanted man in. There's just like.
See, I've never robbed one from a library, but yeah.
Liberated, Jord. Liberated.
Sorry.
It's a victimless crime.
I've never forgot to return a book to the library, but I do have somewhere a Marvel annual that I bought at a charity sale that was robbed from the library.
Right. It's never good when you buy a second-hand graphic novel and it comes through the post and you're all happy about it because you get to read some new stuff, and then you open it up and there's just a big stamp on it, just like property of Summerhill School or whatever. Like,
Can't say that's happened to me much, but yeah, just the one.
I'm going to end up on the front page of the Sun. It'll be my driver's license picture because that's always the worst one. It'll just be headline Beast. And that's it. Like, it's going to happen.
Monster.
Monster. No, I just thought that was quite an entertaining.
Millennials are killing the library industry.
Maybe that's why Blockbuster went out of business, because of bitches like this that just never took back Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That's it. They didn't run out of money. They ran out of DVDs and
They
videos.
did, but like, you just fucking my dad. He had every single police academy in his back bedroom. I never knew whether those were gained by legitimate means.
It's ironic if they're not.
Yeah, we're raising a generation of criminals, man. It's not good, is it? We're putting people out of business. Okay, so you fan of like Mortal Kombat, Injustice, those kind of NetherRealm Studios games?
No, I don't care.
Don't give a shit.
Nope.
I know, however, that you happen to be quite a fan of Marvel Contest of Champions.
Yep.
So you got Marvel Contest of Champions, you got NetherRealm Studios fighting games. Put your hands together, because according to a notable leaker and industry insider, we are potentially getting a Marvel fighting game, much in the style of Injustice, developed by NetherRealm Studios, who own the licenses to Mortal Kombat and Injustice. Now, this guy, Daniel Richman, he does have quite a good track record of, leaking things via his website Stealth Optional and them actually becoming true. But I would take this potentially with a massive grain of salt, because NetherRealm is owned by Warner Brothers Games, or WB Games. So why would they champion the competition, as it were?
Money's money, mate.
I know. That does make a lot of sense. And he claims the game's already in production. And I know that the Lego games, they're also WB Games, and they've done Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Well, they sell really well, and the Lego Avengers games are shit. Don't touch them with a 10-foot barge pole. But the Lego Marvel
Superheroes
games
ones,
look, they're good. They're fun.
Yep.
I really enjoy them. So yeah.
Yep. I really want to share in your excitement for Contest of Champions, because on paper it looks great, because I like those 2D fighters, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. They're a big fan, one of my favourite genres, and I'd love a Marvel skinned one, which I haven't really had since X-Men Mutant Academy for PlayStation 1, so we're going back quite a fair bit, and Marvel vs. Capcom has always been a bit too chaotic for me to get into, and I can't get into Contest of Champions despite trying.
You haven't tried.
I've tried a little bit. I don't know. I like my fighting games to be
fighting games,
console-based fighting games. Exactly.
Yeah, it's Marvel Contest of Champions. It's not a standard. Screaming child somewhere. It's not a standard fighting game. It's very much its own thing. With its own mechanics that the company Kabam have built themselves, and
it's more about stats and stuff, from what I understand, isn't it?
It's far more about technique,
right? Okay.
Because if you've got the technique, you can get the upgrades to beat anything, to get yourself to the end of the game. It's people play this game for years and are like still not caught up in the storyline and stuff like that. Just
right, okay,
because they're not. It just takes so fucking long to get good at this game, and basically, like, the players now are 10 times better than the developers would expect them to be.
Right, okay.
So they had to keep making the game harder, to keep challenging the people who have stuck with it and just got stupidly good at the fighting.
Well, that kind of puts me off as well, because that's quite daunting for a new player. Whereas, let's say that the planets are lying and this game turns out to be true, and it's a huge roster of popular Marvel characters as well as obscure ones, kind of like Injustice in that style. I can load it up, then put the story mode or the ladder mode on normal difficulty, button mash, and have a fucking great time, and I don't need to invest any time in learning all the intricate mechanics of quite a daunting mobile game.
It's not a button masher, it's like the furthest thing from it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I like fighting games, but I've never tried to get good at them. I'm nothing more than a button masher.
Ironically, I find them kind of boring. Even though
I
put hours a day into the Contest of Champions, I just it's fun. Like when we played, you came around mine and we played Pokken.
That was fucking fun.
It was fun,
yeah.
But it wasn't like top end competitive gameplay. It was us fucking around and me locking Jay in the corner for 5 minutes with Mewtwo.
That was amazing.
That's all it was.
No, I mean, you defend some fucking people by saying that, because there are people out there that put hours and hours into like Street Fighter.
Oh, I know that you can.
Yeah, there's a
there
huge competitive scene.
Yeah.
For those kinds of games. But yeah, these Ed Boon tweeted out like a week or so during the release of Godzilla vs Kong. He was Ed Boon's the head of NetherRealm Studios, creator of Mortal Kombat, and he tweeted out how many are there enough notable gigantic monsters out there to make a giant monster fighting game, and he just needs to fucking stop with this now, because he's tickling my balls of everything that I like. It's like, do you like Mortal Kombat, Jay? Do you like giant monsters, Jay? Do you like Marvel, Jay? We might make a game, Jay. It's like, no, just stop it, man, please. Like, yeah, this is edge play that I just haven't signed up for, man. Do you know what I mean? Just do it, please. So big if true, and I'm very excited.
I'm happy for you. We'll
prospects.
mess about on that whenever I come to yours, because there's no way it'll go to the Switch.
No. Oh, you never know. Mortal Kombat 11 went to the Switch, had good audience. Yeah. So, fingers crossed.
Before we move on to the next news item, I've just thought of a news item. I just want to wish everybody... It's a bit late, but I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Ed Balls Day, which took place on the 28th of April, as it does every year. Are you familiar with Ed Balls Day?
I tangentially remind me. Fill me in.
At the time, in 2011, Mr. Ed Balls was Shadow Chancellor for Labour, Minister for Parliament, and he just tweeted. I mean, it's a great name already, but he just let out a single tweet saying Ed Balls. Ed Balls. And every year now this day is commemorated with Ed Balls Day. This year it was the 10-year anniversary, so happy 10-year anniversary for everybody out there.
Happy 10-year anniversary to Ed Balls Day.
There was a news article in the New York Times this year. It picks up, seems to be picking up more and more attention every year as a stupid internet joke, but yeah.
I love memes. I can't.
It's one of my favourites. But comes
that's
around
a
once a
fucking
year.
good meme, man.
I mean, like it's getting so big at this point. Like the day before Ed Balls Eve is trending like #1 on Twitter and stuff like that. People are just excited.
Oh, Jord, I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. So just wanted to wish everybody
happy
a happy
Ed Balls Day, everyone.
Yep.
Amazing.
Oh, fuck.
I know this isn't exactly breaking news, Jord, but Activision are bastards.
This story hurts me so
let me run through it. Big fucking Crash Bandicoot fans, as you can see. I've got Crash over there. I've got Crash over there. I've got Crash fucking pop figures. Jord has finally got Crash 4 for his
I had to
chosen
import
console.
it from America.
Do you know what I'm not a fan of, and what there's no merchandise for in this room at all? It's fucking Call of Duty, mate.
Wait, you haven't got Joe from Call of Duty 4?
No, I don't know who that is.
Jeff from Call of Duty 7?
Don't know who that is.
What about Millicent from Call of Duty 9? These are such iconic characters, Jay.
I know, right? I know. But it seems now that the majority of Activision are fucking working on this one franchise. So you've got Infinity Ward, you've got Treyarch, you've got Sledgehammer, you've got Raven, you've got Beanox, you've got High Moon, and now fucking Toys for Bob, man. So they've put the Crash 4 developer on development duty for Call of Duty Warzone Season 3. And they tweeted out, we're excited to be working on this season.
We're excited to be getting a big bag of money from Activision.
No, but the problem is that they've had some layoffs, and the worst aspect of it is they've had layoffs in the art department, and that is their best department. There's a lead designer of Toys for Bob who worked on both Crash and Spyro. He's gone, and game designer Blake Moloff has gone as well. But he tweeted out saying, "I've been needing a change anyway, so this pushed me in that direction." It's not what I want. It's not what I want for gaming, man.
We want Toys for Bob to immediately be working on Crash 5. We want them to put 3 or 4 years into Crash 5 and for it to come out and for it to be as good of a game as the Insane Trilogy in Crash 4. Yeah, that's what we want.
It's sad because 2 out of the 3 studios that have worked on Crash's revival, they've now been absorbed by the bigger Activision machine. Mm-hmm. And Toys for Bob has got a background in platformers and cool game design.
What did they do
like
before they worked on Crash?
Toys for Bob, they are Skylanders, and they've worked on a bunch of Disney interactive games, like they did Madagascar, that was a platformer, and I believe they did a Toy Story game as well.
Well, I apologise for asking. Yeah. So let's move on.
But now they're working on Call of Duty. So yeah, I understand it's a juggernaut franchise. Like I don't have the figures in front of me, but I could imagine.
Mate,
Call of
there
Duty
is nothing I like more than on a Saturday night going to the pub, hitting on some women, getting rejected, and going home and playing FIFA and all Call of Duty while I'm half
FIFA
pissed
and COD with the boys,
with the can of Stella right next to me. Right, that's the thing I enjoy the most about life.
It's appealing to the lowest demographic of gamers, and I am sorry if anybody who's listening to this loves FIFA and Call of Duty, but you're basic. Like there's no word of a lie.
You're allowed to be. It's absolutely. It's like watching. Like, okay, you watch Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia. The anime community are going to look at you as basic.
You're basic, yeah.
But they're good things to enjoy if you like them. Lots of other people enjoy them. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's not.
But not at the expense of my Crash Bandicoot. He's only just fucking come back, man. I'm so happy that he's back. Don't fucking take resources away from him, please. Why?
I'm sorry, Joe.
Why?
I'm sorry for your loss, mate.
Well, allegedly they are working on another Crash game, but it's a PvP Crash game, so it's like
Crash Bash Online.
I don't know though. I think it might be like more of a Fortnite type thing. It's called Wampa League allegedly, but I'd like it to be.
It's kind of like Crash Bash,
a spiritual successor to Crash Bash.
It at least needs to have the pinball level as an Easter egg somewhere.
Yes.
Because
I liked Crash Bash for what it was.
I liked Crash Bash. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's not. It's not Crash 3, is it? Let's face it. For the same price, for the same console, it's not Crash 3. And realistically, who got past like 2 or 3 warproofs before they were like, well, it's just the same shit. I'm just gonna stay. Yeah, obviously you did. You finished the game and got everything.
I was like 9 though. So
fair enough.
Come on.
No, I just played it with mates. It was a good time. Fun was had by all.
Same with CTR really. Even though like Crash Bash couldn't hold a candle to CTR if it tried.
I know CTR is one of my favourite games of all time.
I don't want a straight up Crash Bash remake. I want a spiritual successor kind of thing. But this is sad news. This is fucking sad news, man.
Crash Bash is such a small and simple game. What I would expect is a reboot with a remaster included.
I thought that they might put it in Crash 4 as the online mode because they were going to set. It was announced very early on.
Okay, that would have been incredible.
Yeah, it was announced very early on that Crash 4 had multiplayer, and everybody was kind of saying what form will this take, and I was always talking about.
Oh my god, it fucking does.
Don't get too excited, mate. It's pass and play. It's pass and play. Yeah, exactly. That's what it ended up being. But initially, we were.
What's the point?
There is no point other than to unlock a few trophies. And there's a few.
You just do it by yourself, wouldn't you? You just fucking do it by yourself still.
No, me.
Jay, pass it to Jay next. It's Jamie's turn after that as well. So,
luckily, my girlfriend my fiance, she quite likes Crash Bandicoot because she's actually getting better than me. So I've created a monster.
Okay, we can't be having this. Crash Bash can't come out in 2 years, and fucking Kira beats me.
It's going to happen, but she probably beat you at CTR. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, come on! I did good on your birthday. I was not like last all the time. I'm
no,
not
you
good
were,
at video games, but I
don't
didn't come first once.
Either.
But I was like,
No.
I was middle of the pack.
Yeah,
and if it was a good track for me, I'd be getting third or something.
I remember you were first for one of the races, and then you just disappeared off the scoreboard, and I was like, Jord, what happened to you? And I just turned through the headphones. I've gone the wrong fucking way.
It was the fucking it was those Nitro Kart tracks that I'd never played before.
Yeah.
So
Those will fuck you over, man.
Even though I've got 2 fucking copies. I've got CTR for PS4 and Switch. I still haven't touched the Nitro Kart because there's no story mode. Come on.
There is not. Everybody wanted the adventure mode for Nitro Kart, but it just wasn't to be. Wasn't to be. No.
Just stick it in, or just make a new one. Just add more locations to the CTR tour. Anyway, we are so off topic.
We are a little bit off topic, but I can kind of bring it back because as much as we're saying, please make more of this content, Activision seems to think that at the expense of Crash and Spyro and its other franchises, they are going to focus now solely on one franchise and the moneymaker, Call of Duty, and it be sad. It be sad day.
Big sad.
The big sad. Let's fire through these 2 last items and then we can get into Invincible. This is a section... Invincible. Sorry, not Invincible.
Mate, why is it called Invincible if I can see it?
Explain yourself.
Yeah, that was a long shot. This is a World of Warcraft joke.
Somebody's
when
laughing.
You kill the Lich King, there's a very small chance for the amount to drop, and it's just like a stupid like global chat joke that people just spam over and over again. Why is it called Invincible if I can see it?
Okay, all right, I get it now. Excuse me, there you go. Like I understand now. So
yeah,
so
nothing makes a joke funnier that you didn't understand when someone explains it for you, and I thought everyone's gonna love it. So
mate, I fucking laughed, didn't I? Come on. This is the section of the show that we like to call Sad as a Pan or Down on the Ground.
With a new logo, because I fucking hate the Sound as a Pound logo. It's horrible. It looks like poo. Anyway, carry on, Jay.
Yep, okay, new logo, Sound as a Pound or Down on the Ground. I'm going to give the new logo, even though I haven't seen it, Sound as a Pound, because I believe in you.
Thank you.
Basically, we've got a few trailers in front of us, and me and Jordan are going to run down whether we think it's Sound as a Pound or Down on the Ground. So, the first one is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now,
I keep have to stop yourself from saying Shang-Chi and
the Master of Kung Fu.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just, it rolls off the tongue so easily.
It does, yeah.
Sound as a Pound or Down on the Ground?
Sound as a Pound. Really excited for this. Been excited since it was announced.
Yep, great production design.
I'm not quite sure on the pronunciation, but I think the lead's looking really good for it. It's his first big project ever, and so we get the same sort of stuff as we did with Tom Holland, where he's just like like looking around at everyone and like, fuck, you're Captain America, and But no, it's all good.
Yep, production design looks great.
I'm really excited for this film.
Yeah, it looks like one of the better Marvel films. Production design looks great. Cast looks great. Martial arts, which is something that I was really looking out for. That looks fucking good as well.
I hope the villain's good. I hope
it's the Mandarin, isn't it?
It is indeed.
I like that people tried to cancel him after this trailer came out because of a quote he said about Nicki Minaj, like ages ago. There's an old tweet of his saying. The lead actor, the guy's playing Shang-Chi
or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't going to have a crack at that.
Yeah, carry on.
But he's he tweeted out, I thought I was at a Nicki Minaj concert for 20 minutes before I realised I was just watching a homeless man yell at a pigeon. And the Nicki Minaj fan base are coming for him.
There's nothing cancelable about that, is there?
No, not at all. And this is where we get into the territory, sorry, of people are getting cancelled for having an opinion, and that's not okay. Stop it. Stop it, guys. This is why people take the piss out of you.
This is why Boris won the election.
Yeah.
You're making us all look like idiots. Stop it.
Tone it down. Tone it down. Big sound as a pound. Quite conversely, Hulu original series M.O.D.O.K had a new trailer this week.
So this has been
what the fuck is
spoken
this?
about for years now. We've known this is becoming. We've known Patton Oswalt's been attached for a long time. But then you still watch it, and like I wouldn't think that a M.O.D.O.K series could surprise me after knowing it's been coming for so long. But what the fuck was this?
Down on the ground.
No, sound as a pound. Absolutely sound.
Really?
If this is bad, it's going to be so bad it's good, and if it's good, it's great. You know.
I don't get the appeal of M.O.D.O.K. We spoke about this off camera, but somebody passed Marvel a note that said M.O.D.O.K's a popular character, let's make more material with him in, because he's the antagonist of the Avengers game, and obviously he's in this. And there was even there was like a motion capture series that Marvel used to put up on their YouTube, like Marvel Entertainment, called Marvel Superheroes What The? And M.O.D.O.K was one of the starring characters in that, and this sort of kind of seems like a spiritual successor to that, if I was going to reach. But why? I don't get it. I don't get the appeal of M.O.D.O.K at all. And I don't know.
Funny big potato head. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long you can make that joke
work.
No,
I'm excited to see what they do with it and what creative things they can do with the character, because he's a funny looking black and white bad guy a lot of the time.
He is, to be fair. And also the original inspiration behind our first beta podcast name, wasn't it?
Was, yeah.
So we were going to have machine only designed for podcasting.
Or M.O.D.O.K, yeah.
M.O.D.O.K, yeah.
That's the original podcast name.
It sucks that this is the comedy Marvel series that we're getting, but Donald Glover's Deadpool animation got cancelled.
That's a travesty.
Yeah,
I'm a very big fan of Donald Glover, like most people are these days. Since the days of Community, and Atlanta's amazing. So I would have faith that would be one of my favourite things ever. A Deadpool Donald Glover. But apparently it was too edgy for Disney, so...
Yeah. I mean, but somehow this isn't. Do you know what I mean?
It's a shame, because if the merger would have just waited long enough for the first series of this to be out there, it would already be there, and it would already be popular, and Disney would have no choice but to carry it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Fox absolutely would have given... Fox know what sort of a cash cow they've got on their hands with Donald Glover.
Eventually they did, but it seemed like Fox and the management during that time period did everything in their power to stop Deadpool from even going into production. It took a leak of some test footage for it to get the green light. Do you know what I mean?
But I think...
We're in a different time now.
We are, and they learned a lot since then. And Fox were getting to the point where they're like, fuck it, throw anything at the wall, we'll see what sticks.
Yeah.
But also, they knew they probably had something big coming based on the success of Atlanta, which is also a Fox show.
Yeah, true.
So he had a good relationship with them to sort of get this out the door, and if it wasn't for the merger, I genuinely think we would be waiting for season 2 right now.
It's such a shame.
It is.
It's such a shame. And also, our topic that we're about to go into proves that there is a big market for
big market. This has been such
edgy,
a runaway,
animated,
runaway success. So, do you want to jump into the topic?
We can do, mate. Are we going to have should we have a trademark
break?
Nicotine break?
I think we should, but we'll keep it short. We'll keep it to 5 minutes.
We'll keep 5 minutes, yeah. Guys, I'm gonna beg you this week. I don't usually beg, but because we've had a couple of weeks off, I don't want that to be like a fucking death sentence for our podcast, because it was kind of picking up a moderate amount of traction. So I'm gonna beg you this week for engagement and likes and comments and subscriptions.
Will you marry Jay?
Marry me, take me, use me, I am yours. So please, this week, do you know what I mean? Like, let's make this a kind of like a big comeback, Mukkapod 2.0, as it were.
V2. I mean, we can't be Mukkapod 2.0 because we're already Mukkapod 3.0, so we need to be Mukkapod 3.0 V2.
3.0 V2?
Yeah.
I like it. No, with extra...
Anchovies? No.
No.
No one likes... No.
Extra vitamin C.
Vitamin B12. Come on.
Sweet Jesus. B12. Mukkapod B12.
So that's going to be the superior vitamin.
Nice one. All right, nice one. All the best. We'll be back.
Back for more nonsense.
Back for more nonsense. Oi! It's a nice signature of returning. Yes, mate. So we both watched the Amazon Prime original animated series known commonly as Invincible.
We did indeed.
What was your takeaway?
It was fucking good. It was really good.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah,
good.
It's like what I said earlier. Like, we were meant to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier today. Like, that was the topic that we had penned in, and then you finished this, and yeah, there's way more to talk about.
Yeah,
So
definitely,
much more
man.
to talk about.
Definitely. So yeah, Robert Kirkman as a creator, you know, a fucking brilliant guy, funny guy, rich guy, you know, creator of The Walking Dead.
Good
you
at
know,
what he
like,
does, yeah.
Yes, very, very good. And I liked this because as much as it is a yet another deconstruction of the superhero tropes, which is kind of overdone, especially
but it isn't. It isn't. It doesn't lean too heavily into that.
This is what I was going to say. Like, this one is not done in the way that The Boys is, where, you know, the writer's got a distaste for superheroes. This is done with love, but it just subverts some of those tropes. I like the animation style as kind of...
I did too.
Yeah.
To me, it's perfect. It's a perfect adaptation of comic book art style into animation.
Yeah, and not only that, but like the comic book animations that we've had previously, it reminded me very much of, you know, those Bruce Timm Justice League cartoons and the Batman animated series.
Definitely,
and also,
the DC stuff, yeah.
And also stuff like X-Men Evolution. I don't know if you saw that particular cartoon.
I did not.
I'll send you a few clips after the podcast. It's very much in the same vein. I don't know whether because it was teen characters and superhero action, it just reminded me of that. But it's very much in the same vein as kind of X-Men Evolution. So we'll start with that first episode then, because there's not much about that episode that wouldn't distinguish it from regular superhero shows.
So it's super standard, super basic first introduction into a superhero world, where everything looks that it's going to be quite vanilla and then
and then that ending, yeah, like,
and then the ending to episode 1, it sets the tone for the rest of the series. It sets it already gives you the questions that you're going to be asking for the next 7 episodes, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it definitely perked my interest, that particular mystery. But I was watching it through with my partner, and you know, it's just like Mark Grayson is a happy-go-lucky teenager who happens to be the son of the most powerful superhero in the world, and he's about to find out that
Superman, he's a bit like
being
Spider-Man.
a superhero is not all it's cracked up to be.
Absolutely.
And Kira said, well, she actually used his name, but I'm not going to say his name on the podcast. But she said, "Oh, your son would like this," and I already knew of Invincible, and I knew it was coming. And I put my hand on her leg, and I turned to her. I was like, "It's not for kids. Wait, wait." So,
I mean, you click play on that final episode, and the warnings that come up.
Yes,
like, okay.
the final episode was difficult to sit through, but I'll come to that once we've talked about it a little bit. But I love the Justice League. In this, the Guardians of the heroes of the what are they called? The Guardians of the Globe. There we go. I love that each one of them is like an archetype of a member of the Justice League, and I love the Aquaman parallel because it's just a fish. It's a fish, man. Yeah. Fucking brilliant, man.
I mean,
brilliant.
What else is like? War Woman's pretty bog standard. This is exactly Wonder Woman.
This is Wonder Woman. Darkwing is Batman.
Obviously, yeah.
Martian Man or Man Martian or whatever is Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, what is it? The the Red Rush.
Red Rush.
Yeah, he's
Flash parallel,
he's you know, quite clearly also Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the Flash.
the one that sticks out to me is the Immortal, because that's more of a Thor, Kratos kind of character, as opposed to anyone who fits in on the Justice League. I mean,
he's not in the DC universe. I mean, I guess the Superman is probably the closest from like the A tier.
Yeah, I suppose he's supposed to be a Superman parallel with his power set and whatever, but the more Superman archetype is obviously Omni-Man, played by Bring Me Photos of Spider-Man Simmons.
Absolutely. Okay, so
the cast is
that's a good
amazing,
thing. I want to touch upon this cast.
Go for it.
One of the things that made me it piqued my interest. Mm-hmm. When it was announced and before the actual show started coming out, was this just absolute bonkers cast.
Trust me.
So you've got, as you've just said, J.K. Simmons, Omni-Man. You've got Gillian Jacobs from Community as Atom Eve. Mark Hamill's in it. Zazie Beetz is in it.
Yeah,
Seth
Mark Hamill
Rogen's
plays
in it.
Seth Rogen's great. Yeah.
You got Walton Goggins, Zachary Quinto. Just to name a few, Mahershala, the one who won the Oscar, who was also in Green Book. That guy, I can't pronounce his name for shit, but yeah, it is this fucking nuts cast. Clancy Brown, John Hamm, Ezra Miller as well, apparently, according to Google. Yeah, it's fucking bonkers. It's
I think old Glenn from The Walking Dead plays a good lead role as well. Like I like Mark's character in this. Is it Stephen Young?
Stephen Yeun?
Yeun, sorry, yeah.
Great. Yeah, so I didn't know him. Brilliant. So is he from The Walking Dead? Is that
he plays a character in The Walking Dead, which is probably he's got that connection with Kirkman, which is probably how through the 7 steps of separation he ended up playing the role of Mark
I didn't know him going into
Yep.
this, but really good performance. Exactly what you would think the voice of Invincible should be, in my opinion.
Yep, definitely, and. Which is another reason that I say it comes from a place of love as opposed to a place of hatred for the genre. So we need to deconstruct these ideals. Is a lot of the drama out of costume that Mark has. It reminds me a lot of, like early Marvel. The kind of problems that Peter Parker would have in terms of trying to balance his secret identity with his.
There is a very strong Spider-Man vibe with Invincible, the character himself.
Yep, definitely.
I think,
definitely.
Especially his first sort of outing as a superhero, which I believe is in episode 1.
Is that when he fights Titan and he stops him from robbing the bank?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was very Spider-Man's first outing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the reference to like the Rhino as well in that one episode where his dad phones him and it's like the elephant's robbing a bank and then you just see him carrying this elephant across the screen. I
must have missed that. To be fair, I've been watching this week to week, so you basically watched it all in the past 2 days. Is that right?
No, I watched the first 4 episodes it'd be about 3 weeks ago now, and then I watched the last 4 yesterday, obviously with the last episode coming out literally yesterday. So it's a very funny show. I like the comic timing. That starts pretty much from episode 1 and carries on right on through until the end. The humor, a lot of the jokes hit with me. There's a lot more hits than misses, but also it's just some of the dialogue is quite just snappy as well, like the stuff that's not humorous. I mean, it opens up with just 2 security guards outside of the White House just having a chat and banter. And I was like, "Oh, this is good. Exactly. This is so good." They're talking about fuck all, really. They're just talking about this guy's trying to get his stepkid to like
Which
him a little
obviously
bit
we
more.
have the call back to in the next episode.
We do.
He mentions in the first episode that he's taken his stepson for a trip to London before he nearly gets killed, but doesn't. Yeah. And then we see them in London nearly getting killed again, where he calls him Dad, and it's
Dad, and they have a hug. Yeah, that's so wholesome.
It's so insignificant to the overall story of Invincible, but it's kind of nice and sweet.
Yeah, it's nice that they wove everything in. I like that they've left a bit of play as well, because ahead of the finale, it's been announced that it's been renewed by Amazon for season 2 and season 3,
and
they've set up so much that doesn't. It's set up, but it doesn't pay off in this season. But it kind of ends with a montage that shows you what's coming, and sort of picks up on the plot points that were kind of peppered in throughout
exactly. And it's not the same as, and it's not going to be the same as the comics either. We've already deviated from the comics quite a lot in terms of when certain things happen, when the big things happen. Because originally I think this comic book was nearly cancelled originally because the Omni-Man reveal came quite a bit later, and up until that point it really is bog standard. There is nothing special about it until you get to the end of the first episode and you're like, oh
fucking hell, yeah. But it's only knowing that even not knowing that though, I think it's cleverly written enough and it's intriguing enough to keep you interested. I can't imagine somebody watching that first episode and being like, well, why am I fucking watching a kids cartoon? Because it's very clearly not. Do you know what I mean? You got
much to my thankfulness, it wasn't just one. I think we got 2 or 3 episodes week 1. Which was really good for this show, because we got to that point that happened. I was like, well, I've got to see more now. I'm gonna carry on. And after the first sitting with this, and I think it was 3 episodes, I was on board. I was fully invested, fully knowing that I'm gonna wake up on Friday and I'm gonna watch this first thing in bed, which is what I did pretty much every week.
Yeah. It's a good way to be, man.
Excited, which it's really fun. It's nice to be excited for stuff.
I've heard some people say that that's to its detriment. That some of the episodes they end quite cliffhangery. Do you know what I mean? Like, and some people have said like that's to the detriment of the show. But I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No,
I think there's enough. That's always the truth for shows where nothing actually fucking happens in the show itself. Where nothing happens for 45 minutes, and then there's 1 minute of immense action or whatever's happening that brings the plot forward so much, and then the next episode you go back to nothing happening for fucking 44 minutes with another
like WandaVision about halfway through. That series kind of deviated into that for me anyway. Like nothing's happening, what a good ending. Nothing's happening, what a good ending for like 3 episodes in the middle there.
I think a lot of shows are guilty of it. I mean,
yeah, that's just the first example that comes to my mind.
There are a lot of shows that are guilty of it. Game of Thrones, to an extent, was always quite guilty of that. The most exciting thing to happen in Game of Thrones was always in the last couple of minutes.
15 minutes, yeah, definitely.
And typically the last couple of episodes of a season as well.
Yeah, it was usually like the penultimate episode, wasn't it?
We got to the point where we knew episode 9 was always going to be big because it had been in the past.
That's when the shit goes down.
And they were relying on being able to give us some shit episodes in front of that. But we're getting off topic. That is not the case for Invincible.
No, absolutely. That's what I was about to say, because it's not like the little 20-minute episodes. You're getting 45 minutes. They are quality. Yeah,
which
they're quite long.
Is such a surprise for this sort of show and this sort of format.
Yeah, definitely.
They could have easily milked 15, 16 episodes out of this. Easily.
No, but they decided not to, because it's good as well. Do you know what I mean? It's boys level good in terms of like the Amazon superhero shit that's happening right now. Yeah. And I think the only reason that it's animated is probably first and foremost to get that reverence to the source material, but also you couldn't really do what they do here in live action on a TV budget. Yeah, trust me, that would have come proper to the detriment.
And there is a live action film on the way.
Oh really?
By Seth Rogen and his partner. Not his marriage partner or whatever. His
yeah. No, I know what you mean. Like his
I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but yeah, he's writing and directing partner, and I believe they're also heavily involved in this.
Yep.
So great. Yeah. It seems to be in good hands by that measure.
No, definitely. It'd be interesting to see how much of the creative team and the cast they bring over from this series to the live action, if that's indeed the case and it's in development. So that's really cool, man. That's really cool. Should we do some spoilery stuff? And give a little spoiler warning.
Yeah, okay. Give the spoiler warning now. There's still a lot I want to talk about from like all over the series, but if we just we've spoke about it a bit. It's good.
It's good enough to go and watch it. If for some reason you've discovered this podcast before you've discovered Invincible, go and fucking check it out.
And you've clicked on the episode that details that we're going to be talking about
Invincible. Yeah, okay. So we'll do the spoiler warning there, so we don't have to watch ourselves. So. That first episode, then the ending, and just like the shocking kind of
just before we get
change.
On to that, I have a visitor. Hello.
Hi. Can I just switch this?
I knew that was what it was going to be.
Also,
chips. Hey, you're right.
Really?
I'll have some. Don't you?
Okay, I've done it now.
I haven't.
It's supposed to be like a really good surprise.
Oh, thank you.
I love the change in tone then. I don't fancy him. It's a good surprise. Oh, thank you. Bless.
Mate, you got to be nice. You're pregnant.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But she could kill me at any moment. Right, can't wait to cut this out. So this will end up in the podcast. Anyway, let's move on.
That's fine, man. That's fine. Yeah, okay. So that first episode, then
smell those
the
fucking
ending.
chips now. I've got to leave it in now.
You want them now? Yeah. Smell them chips. So what was your reaction then? Like just in that first.
I was fucking gobsmacked. I was really just sat there with like my jaw open. I would have been sat there for like 5-10 minutes if it didn't start playing the next episode to sort of calm me down.
Yeah. It was quite visceral, man. Like
I knew it was going to be bloody, but I wasn't expecting
that. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, it gets worse.
It ramps up, and then it hits a point where it's just not nice to be looking at anymore.
I mean, I couldn't look away, but I was my jaw was like on my lap. It was
It's weird the way they did that in the first episode, because it shows you just before that happens in that like little post credit thing, which they do every episode, which I kind of like. Apart from the last two, but yeah, in that little post credit scene, they give you a little slice of life for each of the characters in the Justice League.
They try and introduce the characters, get you a bit more emotionally attached to them.
And it works.
See Red Rush with his partner,
his missus,
which is a reoccurring character for the first half of the series, and just completely shit on all of your expectations for the rest of the show. yeah, big time. And they did the like you said earlier, they did the Omni-Man reveal that he's the one that kills them. I'm going to say, I don't think we've actually stated what happened. Omni-Man just goes in and just brutally murders the Justice League archetype, the Guardians of the Globe.
Which I was like, what? Why? Because Nolan is such a likable guy in that first episode. Do you know what I mean? He's just, I know he's voiced by J.K. Simmons, but he's just like this. He's just like a sound dad. He's like a cheeky chappy,
as a caring and concerned father.
Yeah,
and then he goes and
nice husband and everything.
Just one of the most horrific things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's not nice, but
sorry, one of the most horrific things I've seen in my life up until that point, because
yes,
it gets fucking worse. It
gets a lot worse, man. Do you have a favourite episode out of all of them?
It's got to be the last one.
I'm more.
Is he going to be your favourite or your least favourite? I think.
No. It's a good episode, but I'm more partial to the episode with Titan and Machine Head and that battle with all those super villains. And I liked Machine Head's auto-tuned voice. I was like, that is such a nice. It's just a little character thing, but when he screams, he's got a little bit of vocoder going on, and he's kind of like a Daft Punk kind of looking character anyway. So to have that in there, I just thought that was a nice little.
You're right. That was a good
character
episode, and I believe is that the one where we can see
what a twist
that Omni-Man doesn't come and save Mark. Mark doesn't remember it. But obviously Omni-Man's flying above him when he's losing consciousness, just sort of watching him being a bit disappointed. Doesn't come and save him, win the fight or anything. Just watching.
Doesn't he call the Guardians though, because they burst in like Cecil got an anonymous call, and I'm guessing that was him.
Possibly, I'm not sure if that was stated or not. If it was, I missed it, but it's possible.
That's what I took away from it. But the fact that he doesn't intervene at all when he easily could have, and yeah, the entire time watching through, I was thinking, why has he done this? And I figured it would be something like, you know, he's this superior being that looks down on Earth, but I didn't expect him to. He was fucking on one in that last episode, man. I mean, it broke me when he was like, yeah, I do love your mum, but more like a pet than anything else.
Yeah.
And fucking.
But then at the same time, I get it from his point of view. He does live to be thousands and thousands of years old. It's like, yeah, I get a cat. I love my cat, but I'm gonna fingers crossed. I'm gonna experience 50 years of my life after that cat.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you could only not have that thought process so many times, so many times of loving someone, watching them grow old and die, and
yeah, but it's not like you have then taken me, for example, and just fucking brutally murdered cat after cat after cat in front of me, and I have been completely powerless to stop you doing it, just so you could make a point. So as much as I understand the character's motivations, that was fucking horrible to watch, man. Where he's dragging Mark through the city, and he drags him through the train, bodies upon bodies upon bodies.
Are we going to jump to it?
I want
to talk about some of the side characters first.
Okay,
sorry.
We'll
Interesting side characters to talk about. We've got Mark's girlfriend, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head.
Annabelle? No,
that sounds wrong.
No.
We've got his best mate. Will. Off the top of my head, because they're not superheroes. So I wasn't
William, his name is.
William. Yep. Yeah. So evidently we're both sexist because we've got the girl's name.
Amber.
That's it.
Yeah. There you go.
And then we've got Atom Eve, which
brilliant character.
Is a great character. Insane powers, probably the most powerful in this universe. But we'll get back to that.
Scarlet Witch, innit?
It's more. I liken it more to Dr. Manhattan, because she can control things on an atomic level,
molecular level. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, Dr. Manhattan. Yeah.
And who else is there? We've got the twins, the big blue twin guys. Which are,
yes.
You know, they're not the most interesting characters, but when they come on screen, I'm happy. Like,
I like watching them all, the twins.
Great,
yeah.
Especially when he says sorry to him.
Yeah.
And then when they get put back in at the end of episode 8, it's like...
Yeah, he's in the cast and everything, rolling his eyes. I like the banter between the two twins, where neither of them could decide who's the original, and there's a nice little bit of comic relief with those characters as well, despite them being quite threatening as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're strong. They can go toe-to-toe with some of the strongest.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got Robot, we've got Monster Girl, we've got Rex, we've got the rest of the new Guardians of the Globe after the first wave got wiped out. We've got the Ant-Man woman. I can't remember her name because she wasn't really...
God, yeah, she's another one that's got a name pun, hasn't it? Because there's Duplicate, who's obviously meant to be multiple man, but I can't remember the shrinking one's name off the top of my head, sorry.
Ant-Woman. Let's call her Ant-Woman.
Ant-Woman.
She doesn't really do much in this. Hopefully she'll get some more play. Same with Black Samson.
Yes, he was a really cool character, you know, like one of the original members of the Guardians of the Globe.
When he first came in, I thought he was a bit of a Lex Luthor copy, but he really isn't. He's
Captain America.
He is a bit more Captain America than he is Lex
Truth,
Luthor,
Justice, and the American Way, which might be a bit of a naive ideal to have in the universe of this show.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah. But I liked their little through arc as well. I thought I didn't know what Robot was up to until obviously it shows you, and we spoke about M.O.D.O.K a little bit earlier, and he ended up being kind of like a M.O.D.O.K character, or like Artem Zola and that kind of thing, as well as like Ultron and
he definitely gave me Ultron vibes, especially the Avengers animated series Ultron vibes.
Damien Darkblood, it was a good character as well, the demon detective, and he gave me vibes of both Hellboy and Rorschach from Watchmen.
Okay, I didn't get the Rorschach vibes myself, but I totally see it. That's a definite.
The way he was speaking as well, and leaving out words, and instead of saying I heard there was a disturbance, he says like heard disturbance, came investigate. Or, do you know, like the kind of broken English? That's the kind of way that Rorschach
why do many words
speaks.
when few words do?
Liked that character quite a fair bit. Taken out a little bit too soon, I think.
Yeah, and then we got Cecil as well. I don't think that's the end of we'll see of Damien Darkblood. I really doubt it. Because you're right, it was really early for that character to leave. Cecil, we meet Cecil very early in the show, a lot earlier than in the comics, I'm led to believe. Interesting character. With these sorts of characters, you can never really tell which way it's going to be. It's the double bluff is almost making them an actual good guy these days.
Yeah. That's the twist.
The twist is that he's not evil.
He's not. No, he's Nick Fury.
But there's always with a character like this, there's always time for that to change. And
I'm sure it will.
Knowing a bit about the future, I know he does some dodgy stuff, but I'm not sure how it all.
He was doing some dodgy stuff in this series, like to try and stop Omni-Man, where they shoot that satellite, the Hammer, and it fucking kills so much wildlife and pretty much nukes an entire area just to try and stop it. So that's
And it's not
fairly
just that,
dodgy.
you know,
And then
the guy who turned William's boyfriend into like a zombie man, they use him to try
Yes,
and take
they do.
Zombie Man down. The kaiju, which is actually new for the show, that kaiju doesn't appear in the comics. Just chucking that in like a popular set, releasing that thing into the wild.
Obviously, I like that because it's a kaiju.
Obviously,
and I love a good kaiju fight. Yeah,
Think anything different.
Big dinosaur Cthulhu type thing. Yeah, I was happy about that. I want to see, and I don't know much about the comics. And I thought it was interesting in that Machine Head episode because I watch it with the subtitles on because I'm kind of deaf, and also so I can catch everything. And one of the villains in that fight was named in the subtitles, like Battle Beast, and then the dialogue. So I want to see more of that guy because I liked his design.
And you will.
Yes.
So
brilliant.
When we found out that it was Robot that broke the twins out of prison, I went and started watching some videos. There's a great channel on YouTube, I believe it's called Key Issues, that's done explaining videos on so many characters now. And their channel seems to be, they're getting like 20k views on their like Marvel and DC stuff, but their Invincible stuff is going like 500,000. It's doing really well.
This whole thing's done well, hasn't it? I'm glad that there's been this kind of response to it. But
me too, because it's good, and if you want more of good things, people need to see them.
You need to speak up about how good they are. Yeah, word of mouth is still the
for
most.
A show like this, it lives and dies by word of mouth.
It's the most important marketing tool you've got in your arsenal. You can put adverts on YouTube until Kingdom comes, but if people aren't resonating with the show, it just falls on deaf ears.
And on Friday, Invincible finale was nearly top trending on Twitter, so it did have that power. And I think it's a shame that it came out at the same time as Winter Soldier, same day as and everything, because you kind of fighting for the attention there, but.
Which is why I kind of let the episodes bank, because I had my show to look forward to on a Friday, and after we've talked about this, we can very briefly talk about Falcon Winter Soldier. But we don't have to, but I had my show to look forward to on a Friday. Because it got a lot better after those first couple of episodes. So I watched 4 episodes of Invincible back to back, let it bank up until it finished, and then watched the last couple yesterday. And I'm glad I did that, because I had a show to look forward to on a Friday, and I was never fighting for which show I was going to watch, kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
I get it.
Yeah.
But for me, I was almost more excited for Invincible by the end of it all. To be fair, it was a different sort of excitement, because with Invincible, I was excited to see where the twists and turns go, what happens next in the plot, who else turns out to be a psychopath, all that sort of stuff.
Which is most of the cast.
For really? Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was excited for some good bread and butter.
Yes, a nice fixing up the boat montage.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. So,
that last episode of can we go back to it? Like, because I said you said it was your favourite, or is there more? Go on. What else?
Let me just have a think. I feel like there must be more that we need to discuss.
There's so much.
But the last episode just left such an impact on me. And obviously I watched it yesterday, so I really can't think about anything else, which is why I didn't want to jump straight into that, because I'll never leave. I'll never go back to it.
Absolutely. Okay, so you've got quite a few things that are set up that will pay off next season. One of which is the Martians, and they're being taken over by the liquid tentacle things, which Invincible's kind of responsible for.
Yep, that's totally his fault. That's totally his fault.
Yeah, big time.
There's a couple of other things we haven't even met the Invincible sort of like biggest enemy, like his arch enemy yet.
Oh, okay.
From the comics, so I'm really excited for that. Hopefully, we'll get that next season.
What's the character's name? I take it it's not Battle Beast, is it?
No,
he seemed like
Battle Beast has an amazing story arc that I don't want to even get into spoilers for. If you want to find out what happens, because I would recommend you on a personal level.
I've seen some imagery that I connected now that I know what that character looks like. I'm not going to go into it here, but I've seen some imagery of where that character might ultimately end up being. So yeah.
I mean, it's very It reminds me of a really good story from World of Warcraft, actually.
Okay.
Of an orc that I can't remember the name of. Oh god, I'm really disappointed in this.
Orky Orkerson, son of Orky Orkerson.
There we go, Proxygar. So he was just like one of the last of his people from another planet.
Mm-hmm.
You've basically got the devil come into the main world, and Proxygar, all he wants is to die in combat. All he wants is to be killed.
I kind of got that vibe from this guy, especially with him looking like a lion.
I've seen stories a couple of times already.
Yeah.
But like with Proxygar, like the way he went out, it's one of my favourite stories in general of all time.
Yeah.
Basically, like there's a lot more to it, and it take me like 45 minutes to fully explain everything that why this makes this story so good. But essentially, like he does get killed. He gets killed by the most powerful being in the universe, and is the only person to ever wound them. And I think this character's probably going to go down a similar sort of.
Wants to go out in a blaze of glory and die a warrior's death kind of thing.
That sort of stuff. It's that sort of character. He's not evil. He's not good. He just wants a good fight.
Yeah,
which can be used, and I hope they use it well. It can be used to the benefit of both sides, in good and bad guys.
So what is the name? Just give me the name of the arch enemy that we haven't met yet, because I'm quite intrigued.
I can't remember. I've seen. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But that's kind of good to know.
Angstrom Levy, that's it. And he appears in the 33rd episode, and he's like a big brain sort of reality jumping sort of guy.
Okay.
And it's not just like big bruisers. There's no
that's
shortage of in this storyline.
I like the little world that they set up here with those kinds of like an already established rogues gallery of recurring villains almost. Obviously, you mentioned the twins. We've got Titan as well, who kind of plays Invincible to instate himself and his family as the Kingpin, and then you had his what was his name? The guy, the vanishing guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I do apologise. Incognito, whatever his name was. He's a villain as well. Obviously, you've got Omni-Man and his Viltrumites. That threat's still out there. Battle Beast is still out there. The aliens that attack in the second or third episode.
Yeah, they're coming back as well, aren't they?
They want revenge.
I know
what
happens with that storyline, and it's really fucking good. But I'm not going to spoil anything here. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. And then you've got so they're definitely not going in the order of the comics, because Angstrom Levy was introduced in Invincible 33, and Titan hadn't taken over the mob until 47.
Okay.
So they're using the characters, they're using the storylines, but they're mixing it up a bit to keep it fresh, probably for the people that already like it, but also to make it fit within the format that it's now in.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is exactly what you fucking need to do with a show like this.
Yeah. Sometimes doing page-for-page adaptation doesn't translate to a medium such as this, like you just said.
No, I mean, it works perfectly for Attack on Titan.
Yes,
but I don't think it'd work for this, because you'd get to the end of season 1 and there'd be so many loose threads open and nothing closed off. So
you need that sense of finality almost.
Okay, Jay. Yeah. The final episode.
The episode. You start, because I already spoke about it a little bit, and you said it was your favourite. So,
I mean, favourite's a weird word for an episode like this, because it's
nasty,
mortifying. It was difficult to watch, but then I couldn't look away at the same time. It was if you don't know why are you still here, if you don't know, it was the chat that Invincible had with his mate, good old mate Dad. This is the kind of episode that we've been waiting for, really. And a few episodes prior, we got I can't remember the mother's name, but she was piecing it together, and she finally had the what the fuck have you done kind of chat with him, and then drop the fuck you Nolan on him. That was a good moment as well. It was. And then I love when she stands up to him. I really love it, because it's just like he could kill you so fast, just
Yeah.
so fast, and
Yeah.
you know that he's just killed some other good people.
Yeah, he'd kill you 5 times before you hit the floor.
He
It's
would,
like-
but no, she's a good character. I
Yes.
like Mark's mum in this. I can't remember her name because she's
Yeah.
referred to Debbie.
to his mum, Debbie.
I think the only person that ever calls her Debbie is Cecil, pretty much.
and the guy who makes the costumes, Mark Hamill.
Yes.
So they have a little drink at the
Oh,
end
is
there.
that who
There's
Mark
a
Hamill
friendship
plays?
there.
I didn't pick up
Yeah.
on that. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say something. Yeah. She's a brilliant kind of counterweight. And I think that's a lot of the reason that Mark is so, repulsed by his dad in this last episode. Now, if his mom hadn't been there, and like Nolan even says, we made a mistake not bringing you up as more of a Viltrumite. We raised you as a human.
So he was
And
raised on
that's
Earth.
his mum's influence.
Yeah.
Like again, coming back to the Machine Head episode, that was probably my favourite episode when they have that conversation around the dinner table, and he's like, "Mark, this shit's beneath you, son," and his mum's like, "Don't ever think that saving lives is beneath you," and it's like that kind of counterweight. She's a really good presence to have.
She
in this
She,
story.
I think
Yeah.
she has a big influence on the Invincible character. Definitely.
I think we're biased though, dude, because I think we both got really strong relationships with our mothers, haven't we? So it's like obviously
We are
obviously
kind of
we like the
mommy's
mum.
boys,
Yeah, a little bit.
But we're both dads, so you
That
never know.
too. That too. Yeah, many a time have I murdered a subway car full of civilians in front of my son to prove a fucking
Okay,
point.
so that's
To prove a point, dude. Do you know what I mean? These people weren't doing nothing. There was kids, and he was just so.
that is a mental scene. That truly
It's
shows
horrible,
how
man.
little Omni-Man gives a shit about
Yeah.
the people of Earth. Like, there are a few holes that I can poke in his story. Essentially, why has he waited so long to do anything? Why did he put all of that effort and energy into saving the world? Why didn't he just lay low, have a kid, and? But I guess I think there are answers to it all, but it's maybe things have become more clear.
He's clearly so as much as he's loyal to the Viltrumites or whatever. When he's beating the shit out of Mark, he has that flashback of the baseball game, and then flies away crying. So he's clearly conflicted, if not even just a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So maybe he did get sucked into it and sucked into the superhero
I'm
life.
just
You know
going to
what I
give
mean?
quick spoilers for the comics, but this is also just based off stuff that I haven't read the comics outright. I might start
Okay.
because this is good, and
Yeah.
nice to support the creators of such a thing.
Oh no,
Um,
definitely.
But Mark's dad, he's not like immediately going to come back and start beating Mark up. He goes to another planet and starts a new life, and so I
Yeah.
don't think we'll see him for a bit. He tries.
I-
Essentially,
I-
he tries again. Is what
I
he does.
didn't know whether he was going up to grab the rest of the Viltrumites and come back, or whether he was going to go and do a
No, so
Dr.
he
Manhattan going to
is-
Mars kind of thing.
He
yeah.
is abandoned. He's abandoned his post, and in the last
Yeah.
episode, they make such a big deal about.
Yeah, Seth Rogen's like that never fucking happens.
It
That's
doesn't
unheard
happen.
of. Yeah.
And essentially, he's no one's friend now because of that.
Yeah.
The Viltrumites and Earth, no one's exactly buying him a Christmas present this year.
Well done, Dad. Nice one, Nolan.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't think we'll see him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Good.
I want these other characters to have a bit more room
Have more play,
to grow and breathe
Yeah.
in the next season. Especially Robot and Monster Girl. They have some really good arcs coming up. Really interesting. It's already started to happen. You can tell there's something there with them, and obviously, his arc in this season is for her essentially.
Really cool premise for a character, Monster Girl. I've got this amazing power, and every time I use it, I get a week younger. Kind of thing. Yeah, really cool premise for just a power set. To be fair.
Sorry, mate. Can you just reload the page?
Quit and come back.
Yeah, you gone well out of sync.
Oh, sorry.
No. Taylor, you
I'm
did it on
back.
purpose, mate.
No. Yeah, no, really, like I said, really cool premise for just a power set to have in general.
It is.
There with
It
Monster
is.
Girl.
And if you were just being like, really selfish with that power, so you could just keep yourself whatever age you wanted forever, really, couldn't you? You could figure out how long it takes you back, and then, it takes me back 4 days. Okay, I just need to transform every 4 days, and I'll be this. I'm immortal, sort of.
yeah, absolutely.
But the fact that she is making herself younger and younger and younger, despite fucking hating it, to help people, it's nice. It's a nice character trait to have.
Yeah, it's a bit weird when they start to, she fancies Rex a little bit, and she's essentially got the body of this 15-year-old or 14-year-old.
Yeah, but then you got like Robot, who's like 30, 35. He grows himself a body of her age, which is kind of sweet.
That looks like Rex.
But it is Rex. but he did that because Robot noticed that she had a thing for Rex, despite being disgusted by him. So she went with. That's why she chose him, which is kind of stupid because like you'd choose Invincible, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
But Rex is definitely easier to get the drop on and steal his blood or whatever.
His DNA. Yeah. That was pretty heart wrenching when Robot pretty much commits suicide. Yeah, like he has to kill himself.
That was a strong scene.
It hits you in the feels. That one does, and. I like how they had kind of infinite reverse Uno cards with the twins there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, give me that thing. No, you've just put a neural implant. Oh, I've just killed your robots. Well, here's a bigger robot. Well, I'm going to shoot you. No, you're not. Get back to jail.
That was actually a really good sequence.
I like that.
He's just been birthed into a new body, and he's got to like escape and take them on and stuff. Yeah. That was really good. Really
and then Raging Immortal Man comes back, which was a bit of a twist, but didn't really mean much in the end.
I
you know what I mean?
saw it come in, and it won't be the last we've seen of him. As far as
he's in that.
He's in the comics for a long time.
He's in the little lab at the end as well. So there's some shenanigans going on with the government.
It's been hinted that he'll be back again.
Yeah, they've got that light shenanigan thing that was going on at the end there. I don't know how to explain. Like nobody in America can see under these lights, and we control it. Yeah, very, very interesting. And you saw quite a few things there that are like sort of hints as to what's to come. And then obviously, like I said, you had like a little montage of kind of your unresolved threads kind of thing.
They were definitely setting up for season 2 in this last episode, which I would normally hate, but this episode also just delivered so much as well.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, you can take 15 minutes and set up a season 2. Sure, I'll allow it. Like I've had the end of this season now. This is just making me excited. It's not.
No, yeah, definitely. I hope they get a bit more budget for the animation next season.
I'd like a longer season, but I'd also like these episode times to stay because this is a perfect episode length for what this is.
I just mean in general, like some of the sequences where it's like like there's one scene where Amber and Mark kiss, and then they sort of go down as if they're like lying on the bed, but it's literally like a flat PNG just disappearing, like a PowerPoint presentation. And there's little things like that. It doesn't bother me, but I'd like to see
I almost
a bit more
think
fluid animation.
It's a cheap animation when it's used.
That is true. I thought that while I was speaking just now. It's kind of the time, like I said, that those kind of DC animated projects and X-Men Evolution, etc. Oh, he's having chips delivered. Chips in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
What were you saying?
It doesn't matter. You got chips.
I'm gonna try and make the homemade. Oh, fucking hot. God. Okay, we're all good for a minute. Fuck that. Oh.
The chips giveth, the chips taketh away. I forgot what I was saying. It probably wasn't important, to be honest with you. No, yeah, we're talking about the charm of cheap animation, and yes and no. Do you know what I mean? On the same score. So
sorry, everyone. I just chewed right into the microphone.
It's fine, mate. Yeah, excellent. So, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on with it? Or...
I feel bad sitting here and just saying this is good, this part's good, this part's good, but I don't think I have anything negative to say about this show. It came in and it ticked all my boxes, really. And I would absolutely give this a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think so. If I had to, I'm sure there's some stuff that I could nitpick. Like I just said, the animation quality isn't always proper fluid. the episode where they go to college with the cyborgs, I guess that could be considered filler, potentially.
It was filler, but it was also
yeah.
setting some stuff up for the future. So
yeah,
I kind of get it, and also it's nice to have a bit of inclusion in this show. There is,
yes.
I mean, the cast as well, but like the real life cast, but in the show there's people of different backgrounds, different sexual orientations.
Yeah, definitely,
Great.
yeah.
Good. It's what I like to see. They that is a change from the comic. There was a bit less of that in the comics. For the show, they've stepped it up a bit, so I think it's really nice. I think it's really big of them to recognise that they could have done more. Rob Kirkman looking at his own property and saying we could have probably done a bit more here. Obviously you don't know exactly.
We're gonna this character is gonna be openly gay and fuck you kind of thing. So yeah,
not only would this character be openly gay, it'll be important to the storyline that they are. For example, it's that sort of stuff which I really appreciate in adaptations, especially.
And also it's not fucking force fed down you either. Do you know what I mean? Because I hadn't even considered that, but until you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, actually. Do you know what I mean? Like it is quite a diverse cast of characters. So
which is good that you don't notice that, because it might almost mean that you're sort of getting used to seeing it, which would be great.
Definitely, mate, definitely. So as an overall, I can imagine it's a sound as a pound and not anywhere near down on the ground.
100%. Yeah, it's one of my favourite things that I've seen in the past couple of months.
This is sound as a pound that you found on the ground rolling around. This is like, you really have to clutch to find negatives with this. You have to look for them. There's none that are apparent. I completely agree with you. Definitely. I'm glad we've reached a consensus on that. Watch Invincible if you watched it.
So I've got a question for you. Would you watch Invincible if you?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I thought, oh bloody hell, that's a quick transition.
Not there yet. I'll be there in a minute.
Go on.
If you could only recommend one show to someone out of Invincible and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, pre-existing superhero fan, they've probably seen everything else in the MCU or most of the stuff in the MCU. Which one would you recommend?
Invincible, and I don't even really need to think about it all that much.
I don't.
Falcon.
I think you jump on at the next Captain America or Winter Soldier film or whatever, and
you'll be caught up.
You'll be caught up. You probably miss a few things in the first third of the film, but by the end you'll know where everyone is and what's going on. So I don't think it's super essential. But I think this is essential watching for anyone that's a fan of the genre.
Yep. There's not a lot like it out there at the moment. Obviously, we've got some more adult orientated superhero content coming up.
Yeah, and I think the most similar thing would probably be the Harley Quinn series. That's
yes, that's true. True, and M.O.D.O.K as well, which we spoke about earlier. That's kind of in the same kind of vein. Hopefully that. I mean, I'm calling back to earlier in the podcast, but hopefully that will lead then to an animated Deadpool show or something of that vein. Some of the more edgy Mark Millar stuff like Nemesis and
definitely.
Let's
Netflix
go.
Get on it. Netflix, where's your competitor to Invincible? That's what I want to say.
Well, for that, let's take another look at Kick-Ass and let's animate that in John Romita's art style and animated. Let's do it. Do you know what I mean?
That might be the best idea you've ever had.
Thank you.
I genuinely think that animation would probably be the best medium for Kick-Ass when I actually think about it.
Let's take another look at it, man. I don't think those movies were so definitive that it's untouchable, and it's been fucking 11 years now since the last film. So let's go.
God,
let's
really?
do it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fantastic idea. Just keep the Mika soundtrack because I'm a big fan.
Keep the what?
Mika soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Of course, and Bananarama as well.
So then, mate.
Yes.
What did you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Okay, very quickly, right. It got a lot better. There were an episode or two since episode 3, because we covered episode 1 to 2. I was quite neglectful, and I do apologise. I hadn't done my research going into this show at all. Isaiah Bradley, who we didn't know, is actually quite an important character from the comics, and was the very first.
I've seen a lot of old art of him since he appeared in this.
Yeah, and also the kid that lives with him is Eli Bradley, who is Patriot, who is the leader of the Young Avengers, which I really should have known because
that's news to me.
Yeah. The Eli is his grandson, and he is like I said, the leader of the Young Avengers. He's the Captain America archetype. He's Patriot. And that goes back to what we've said in a few episodes where, you know, they're bringing in Kate Bishop, you've got Cassie Lang, you've got the Scarlet Witch's 2 children, and now you've got Miss Marvel, and you've got Eli Bradley now as well. So they're probably setting something up.
That's enough for a start.
There you go.
I don't think we'll get Young Avengers without Young Nova, personally.
Yeah, the Young Nova, Hulkling is another. Is what he'll probably be in Secret Invasion, if anything, because he's part Skrull. He's a shapeshifter, and also Iron Lad or Iron Heart, as it'll probably end up being, as the young Iron Man. And Vision as well. Vision's on the Young Avengers.
Iron Lad, we're going on a bit of a tangent. Iron Lad is the storyline that I most want. To introduce and bring in Kang the Conqueror and stuff like that.
Kang the Conqueror is going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania. He's been
exactly,
and
the actor that's been announced for him makes me think that the kid from Iron Man 3 isn't going to be Iron Lad.
Okay.
But I'm kind of sad about that, because to me that's the perfect...
Oh, is that the theory? Is that the theory?
It's my theory. I don't know if it's a theory.
Okay.
My sort of hopes would always be that character would go on to be Iron Lad and obviously Kang the Conqueror.
Oh, that would be cool.
But
that would be fucking good, man. Yeah, I like
that. It'd be great, wouldn't it? It'd be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You know, Tony Stark, he's still making villains. He's been dead for 5 years or whatever. He's still making villains.
But yes, just coming back to it, I just wanted to address that up front, because I cringe a little bit watching that episode back with how little I was informed on that, and I try and call myself a comic fan and say that I'm into this medium, so I apologise for that. I should have done a little bit more research going into that episode.
You are a comic fan, but you're not the biggest Captain America fan.
Yeah, exactly. But that's quite a crucial piece of comic lore that I've and I like the Young Avengers, and I've followed that story, and I've got a few Young Avengers graphic novels, so I should have known that, and I didn't. So apologies for that. But yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier gets a lot better. There's a few episodes in there, particularly the last but one, that are really fucking good. Like the last but one episode of this is so pumped really good.
Going into episode 6 after what episode 5, that was the longest week of waiting for me between them.
Episode 6 kind of rushed the conclusion though, which I wasn't a fan of, especially since I was quite intrigued in the early episodes of what was going on with Bucky and his list and atoning, and then
I could have done with a bit more of that.
He goes to the Japanese lad who ended up killing his son, and it's literally, it's paced like this. I'm not exaggerating. I've come to tell you I've killed your son. Why did you do that? I had no choice. The end.
I wanted to see the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some more. I could probably sit here and nitpick it for a long time, a lot longer than I could Invincible. But overall, it was good. If you like the rest of it, specifically if you like the Captain America films, you'll probably like this. It's not going to change your life, but it's worth watching. It's not my favourite, but there's some gems. There's some real good scenes. There's some real good character moments. I like the Captain America costume, even though there's a bit of a fitting issue. And off the back of this, they've announced Captain America 4. I loved Zemo in this, and I liked the villainisation and ultimate redemption of the US agent, new Captain America. Good character, really good character. I really like Zemo in this as well.
Didn't give two solitary shits about Carly and the flag smashers though. Like even right at the end, she dies in the Falcon's arms, and they do the Cain and Abel thing where he flies down with her, he's carrying her, and that would have been really powerful if I'd given a shit, but I didn't. I just didn't care about this petulant child. Do you know what I mean? Like what is up with the attitude on this lost child?
No, I could see what they were doing with it. It's an immigration story essentially. It's very current day. It's politics. You know, all of that rubbish. I can see where they were going for, but I don't think it landed that well. I think the best villain in this was US Agent. Yeah. I got a little bit confused
as to the motivations behind Sharon Carter and what she did in the end, and the power broker reveal, which meant nothing to me because I didn't look into any of the theories, because I'm not doing that again, Marvel. you burnt your bridges there.
We'll talk
Like,
about that a little bit off podcast, because I've at some point, I'm in no rush because, you know, fuck it, why?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Sharon Carter,
we can
character I
speak
didn't give a
about
shit
it.
about in the first place.
No, yeah, she's playing a bit of fucking 4D chess. It seems like it looks like that might be important going
She's making
forward.
bank. I think that's it.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
making
so-
money. Kills another legacy villain. There we go, Marvel. Just why not get rid of Batroc the Leaper while you're here? You haven't killed a good villain for a while. Let's make that list of villains ever so smaller.
Just, so just before that
there
happened,
goes another one.
I turned to Kay and I said, "I'm glad the actor for Batroc had a chance to sort of get in a bit more stuff, because
Bang!
yeah, he wasn't in Captain America 2 for very long, and then he was just in the opening of this series. So I'm glad they're bringing him back. This should be good.
Bang! Oh, I guess he died
Dead,
then.
mate, yeah.
The end. Yeah, I'm waiting for the Punisher to kick down the door of the raft and just fucking machine gun everyone. Like, do you know what I mean?
Mate, that'd be the
let's
best.
let's get rid of all of them, man. Like,
New Punisher series coming to Disney Plus, and then you're googling it, and you're like, it gets announced runtime 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
That's all you need, mate.
Real big hitters like Doctor Doom, like it opens in Latveria and it's like, oh my god, it's Doctor Doom, it's Keanu Reeves as Doctor Doom, and then in comes John Berthel and
That'd be
dead.
amazing. I mean, I hate that casting,
Yeah.
but that'd be amazing.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston as the Green Goblin, and then
We need to do a
Having
fan
died.
cast episode.
we do.
Quickly, what do you give this? It's obviously, it's put on the assuming sound as a pound.
Sound on the ground. It's okay.
Really that bad?
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. Marvel doesn't make bad
sound
stuff, but
on
then
the ground,
it's like
sound as a pound on the whatever you said, the in between one. I
Yeah.
picture that as the 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
not. It's. I'll tell you what it is. It's a 3.5 out of 6. Not great. Not terrible.
Okay, weird measuring system, but we'll go with it.
Yeah.
So let's move on, Jay.
Yeah.
How is it going?
No, I'm not answering
What?
that. I don't answer that. No. Try
Oh,
again.
so, okay. What have you been doing?
No.
Oh, fuck. What is it? It's been so long. Can't remember what it is. Azitgewin Mates.
Woo! How's it going? What's going on? Tell us about all the shit that you've done. How's it going, kid? How's it going? It's been going all right, actually. Yeah, I know what you're saying now. Sorry, I didn't get that.
Can you hear me?
Dude, I have been playing Oddworld Soulstorm. And
I've been
it's
waiting to hear your thoughts on this. Because you
it's
won't tell me.
interesting. It's interesting, man. Well, on paper, it's a fun platformer, but it's not. It's not what I wanted from Oddworld. It's
Right.
meant to be the reimagining of Abe's Exodus, which was a fucking fantastic game, and you had Mudokons with different emotions, and you had different puzzles surrounded around them. You could possess everything, and the game speak was huge. It was massive. The game speak is pretty much gone from this game. You get the option to say hello, and you get the option to say follow me, and a lot of the wildlife in the game, like the scravs and the paramites, they're not in the game anymore, and you can possess the sligs as like always, and they've got game speak commands, but they don't do anything in the game, and it's just a real shallow experience. I mean, it's fun enough. Abe's got a double jump now as well, which feels really weird.
Abe should not be an agile character.
No, and he kind of is, and there's crafting here, and it's not brilliant, but you can throw like Molotovs and
I don't
create
think
stuff
that's
like
a good
that.
idea for this game. The gameplay was already deep enough. You don't need
Yeah.
stuff like that.
It's like they've added to it, but they've subtracted in the equal amount, and it's just it makes me sad that we didn't get a straight up remake of Abe's Exodus, because a remake of Abe's Exodus exactly how it was in this engine would have been amazing, because it looks incredible. The art department at Oddworld Inhabitants is doing the Lord's work.
Oh no, this game looks amazing. It looks
It's
beautiful.
brilliant. It looks brilliant, but it's also not a polished game. Like, there is an ass load of glitches and bugs and graphical discrepancies. And that wouldn't be so much of a problem, but the game demands perfection from you. It's so precise in what it wants you to do, and when it's ridiculously unpolished, which it really is, which is a shame to say. And I hate myself right now because I want more Oddworld content because I like this universe.
You're a big fan.
But I don't want to sit here and either not talk about it
I mean,
or
I know
lie.
you're a big fan
I mean?
and you want this game to be better, but then also at the same time, I think you're the only person I know who knows what Oddworld is. So
yeah, exactly. So I don't want to sit
it's
here
not Crash,
and
is
say
it? Let's face it.
Which surprises me that Oddworld Inhabitants is considered an indie studio, where
It's been around long enough to not be considered that.
Exactly, and Abe was in the conversation for sort of like a de facto mascot back in the day. Crash, Spyro, Abe. Those were the guys. So it's kind of like
but it
how
was more
low
like
the
Crash, Spyro, Abe. Like, don't get me wrong.
I don't know. He was a bit of a superstar for a bit. A lot of people brought PS2s off the back of what an Oddworld Inhabitants game would look like on that system, and then they went and signed an exclusive deal with Xbox. Do you know, I think that took a lot of steam out of their train when they moved over to Xbox, and EA kind of shafted them a little bit with the publishing over there and whatnot. And Soulstorm's okay. It's okay. It's a fun platformer. I've put some time into it, but it's not. It's an action platformer, not a puzzle platformer, and it doesn't feel like an Oddworld game should feel.
Strange. That just sounds strange to me.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be running out to buy a PS5 to play it.
No, don't.
I shan't
Don't
be.
No. How's it going with you, mate?
Good.
Fucking Led Zeppelin. That
I
was.
did. I thought that.
What have you been up to? Tell me all about it.
I've been working. That's it.
Ah.
I haven't. I've been buying. Don't get me wrong, buying lots of stuff.
What you brought? What's in the basket?
So I bought some.
What's in the basement?
Okay, so I bought the first 3 volumes of So I'm a Spider, So What? After just continuing to love the anime so much, I thought
Nice.
I'll check out the source material. It's also nice to support the creators, put some actual money in their pockets, because I doubt Crunchyroll pay them very much. I bought 3 Junji Ito collections, and I've read a couple of stories from each of them, but I'm not ready to have a proper chat about them yet.
Okay, cool.
Because they're fucking bonkers. It's a horror manga. Yeah. I want to soak that in a bit more. I bought the first 6 issues of first 6 volumes of Mob Psycho 100.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of my favourite animes. I'm not sure if it's down your alley, but
I'll give anything a shot, mate.
Give it a few episodes to see, because if it is something that you're all about, it's fucking good. Same writer and creator as One Punch Man.
Yes, that's on my list. One Punch Man's on my list.
I mean, we've had that conversation. Watch Series 1, Series 2 doesn't exist. Of One
Yeah,
Punch Man.
yeah.
Series 1 is one of the best shows ever.
My next anime venture, I may as well tell the lovely watchers, is going to be Demon Slayer, so that we can cover the movie when it comes out in May. And then after that, I'm doing Jujutsu Kaisen.
Demon
So,
Slayer. Got
Demon Slayer.
Bought a few of them as well. Can't remember when though, so I didn't say it then. But might have been before last episode.
How come, being a big manga fan, how come you haven't brought the Attack on Titan finale yet? Like, or do you want to wait for the anime?
So I refuse to only own part of a manga collection unless it's the first part. I'll happily own volume 1, 2 and 3 of a 20-part series, but I will not own 17, 18, 19 and 20.
So if you brought the chapters that will make up season 4 part 2, you would have to buy the entire fucking
You're talking
lot of it.
£150, £200 investment for me to get to that point.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Because it's a big show, and there's lots of spin-offs and side stuff that I'd have to buy, because that's just the sort of personality that I have, I guess.
I was strolling through the internet shortly after finishing Attack on Titan season 4, and I was like, okay, I like a good video essay, so I'm going to start listening to some of these video essays now. And I was watching one about Eren Yeager, and I can't remember exactly which one it was. And it did say spoiler alert for Attack on Titan, and I was like, okay, well, I'm caught up, kind of thing. And he's talking about it, and then all of a sudden he starts waxing lyrical about spoilers for the manga, and I'm talking fucking endgame spoilers, and I was like, whoa, 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 I paused it.
Yeah.
But what he said was so intriguing that I had to have more, and I fucking know everything that's going to happen now.
Well,
so I'm not mentioning it to you, but I know
not.
fucking.
No, I think
I'd
at
never
this
do that
point,
to you, dude.
I'm going to
like,
wait for it. I'm going to have the hype of the show because it's a fucking juggernaut.
It's gonna be amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna
excited.
be fucking
I've
awesome.
seen
Oh,
one-
you should be.
I've been spoiled a tiny bit. I've seen one frame of I think it's second to last manga volume. Not volume, chapter.
Tell me off podcast what that was.
I
Like,
will.
I'm interested to
And
know.
it's a prediction that I successfully made, which might tell you exactly what it is.
I think so. I think I got. Yeah. I think I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why. That's why. A couple of reasons with Attack on Titan, but I generally like to own them.
No, that makes sense.
Konosuba, one of my favourite shows. I don't have all the volumes for that. I'm sort of holding out hope they'll get a season 3 because the comedic timing of the show is something that the manga would be missing. But if it doesn't get renewed, I'll start collecting.
I've seen a few things about that magic and mushel smash thing. I've seen a
Mashal.
few articles about that. So yeah,
I think
I want
the manga's doing really well. I think it'll be a show before you know it. Essentially,
I'll watch that day one, man. Yeah. That stayed with me. Of all the mangas you've recommended to me, that premise has resonated with me.
It's fucking good. And I tell you what, I need to catch up. The last time I read an issue of that was when we spoke about it. When I just recommended, I just hot off it, and I thought. I think for like a week or two, I was jumping on and reading just one, but it's like 10 pages, and I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna build it up again.
Bank up. Yeah. I'm intrigued by Kaiju number 8 as well, or whatever it's called.
It's not one I've started, but it's one that keeps popping up, and I'm like, oh, I always go to start it, but then I look at it and it's like, I think there's like 30 chapters, so I'll probably start at about 50, which is what I did for Mashal, and that was good.
Godzilla's Singular Point comes out soon, man. I'll have to double check the release date on that, but that's the Studio Ghibli Godzilla anime that we've spoken about a few times. So, yep, definitely 100%. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on? I've mainly been doing Soulstorm, to be honest with you. The only other thing I've been doing is kind of watching some old school British comedies, because we spoke about sitcoms a few weeks ago. And I'm not just into American sitcoms. Me and my dad used to watch like Red Dwarf and Blackadder and Only Fools and Horses, and I've been watching those just sort of on the side while I've been working, and they're just so funny, man. Like Blackadder is hilarious.
I've never really been that into that sort of stuff, but at the same time, no one really exposed me to it as a kid, which is what I think you need for something that dated.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't crack me up like it did back in the day, but it's still. I'm surprised at how much it holds up for me now with a developed critical brain and whatnot. I am surprised how much it entertains me. Do you know what I mean?
That's good.
But, yeah.
I mean, I was also rewatching some comedy stuff yesterday. Actually, I was my favourite comedian, Bo Burnham. He's announced that he's recorded a special during lockdown, and I think I posted it on Twitter, and I think you liked this tweet, but there were very, very, very few things that would get me as excited as the announcement of a new Bo Burnham special. I mean, we've had like 2 in the past 10 years or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
And the last one was in 2016, and we thought he'd quit comedy, but it turns out he's been working on one for the past year while we've all been running around
blissfully unaware
as we can. So no, I am beyond excited. There's no way I could describe with adjectives how excited I am for this. So I went and rewatched the old specials, which I've already seen 50 times.
Yeah, I'd never heard of Bo Burnham until like literally talking to you this week, and you played me a song. One of his, he's like a musical. Ice cream man. He's that's him. He's just coming in on his ice cream man. No, he's like a musical comedian, kind of in the same kind of style as like Bill Bailey or Tim Minchin by the looks of it. And like you played me a song before the podcast, and it was hilarious, man. So yeah. I'll be watching that tonight.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
I think that's gonna be
sit down with your missus and give it a shot.
Yeah.
and try and watch those two. There's a much older one on Amazon Prime called Words, but he was like a teenager when he made that.
Okay,
But if you're a fan of his, it's the same sort of comedy, and it's also incredibly impressive that he managed to achieve something like that at that age. So I'd still go back and watch it if
definitely.
You
like I walk the line with people like that, or like that have achieved success at a young age, where I'm like, I'm happy for you, but I fucking hate you. It's like Jennifer Lawrence, like she's a multi-millionaire actress, and she's like something stupid like 4 years younger than me, and I hate her. I fucking hate her. Like, I used to go to this guy to university with this guy. I won't say his name. Dino. He was this fucking really super talented singer / keyboard player, and I fucking hated him because he was like 18 years old. I was 21, and he was like this ridiculously talented musician, and I fucking hated him for it.
Yeah,
but if he was my age or older, I wouldn't have hated him. So I walk the line with people like that. So
Fair enough.
yeah. All right, dude. I think that's a podcast. It certainly looks like one.
Yeah.
Nice one. Thank you ever so much, guys. Sorry for the delays in the production schedule.
And the incredible tangents in this episode.
Oh, who cares? Who
I
cares?
don't know.
This is what people like about us. Apparently, they like our banter. This is the review I keep getting from people. So it's probably a
Keep
good
it
one.
like that. No topic, no news next week. We'll just talk shit.
We'll just talk shit. Next week, we are going to be looking at Mortal Kombat, which I thought was out this week, but it's not. It's actually out next week. Yeah.
And also on Thursday there'll be an episode that we recorded a month ago coming out on the channel, so keep an eye out for that. So will be the probably only double episode week that you'll ever have. So enjoy
It's a double week. Like you spend your whole life waiting for a podcast, and then two come along at once. But
exactly, you wait a month and you're like, man, but they've given up, haven't they? But no, we're coming back with two. One that was recorded before we gave up. So
yeah. I never gave up, Jordan.
No, it's all me. It's my fault. Didn't give up. I'm just lazy.
I love you. No, I needed that, mate. Thank you ever so much for that. Where can people find you online if they feel so inclined?
At _Sidonian on Twitter or Sidonian on YouTube.
Brilliant stuff, man. I will be available via the Mukkapod channel, and I'll also be on Kaiju at Kaiju Groupie 91 on Twitter, which I will actually start using again now that I've got podcasts to promote. So yeah. But if you see me in real life, fucking leave me alone.
There we go. Okay, now I can do the podcast. I was waiting for you.
I almost forgot. Nice
So
one.
we could do that other thing before we end up. The other podcast do where they thank the people that made their like intros and stuff like that. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to Jamie for the intro, and a big thank you to Jamie for the Azitgewin theme, and a big thank you to Jamie for the outro, which coincidentally is the same as the intro, but I make the logo go smaller instead of bigger. There we go.
I'm thinking about doing an outro song.
I did pitch you one, didn't I?
Yeah, but I don't know whether I'm going to do James Blunt again, because I don't know why I chose James Blunt. It just happened. So I'm looking for a song to parody for the outro song. So if you've got any suggestions,
stick one in the comments.
Leave it in the comments. Yeah,
and it's hopefully in a few weeks we'll have that ready.
Nice one. All right, dude, I've enjoyed your company. Thank you, audience. Thank you, Jord. I'll see you all next week.
Okay, peace.
Peace.
My pod is busted, my pod is pure. I've got a M.O.D.O.K, his name is Jord. It's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, and we're gonna talk about some characters that ain't even real, and hope someone gives a shit. Ah, kid. There you go.